Well, the trees and manger scenes are gone from the sanctuary. We're back to wearing green. The season of Christmas has ended. And now that it is over, I think we need to ask ourselves an important question. What was the point? Why did we do that? Or said another way, how were we changed by the seasons of Advent and Christmas? Think about that for a moment. How were you changed? I've made it a habit over the years of asking myself that question after each church season. And I'll be honest, oftentimes I draw a blank. And I suspect many of you feel the same way at this moment. I don't have trouble admitting it can be a little bit disconcerting. It makes the whole season seem futile and meaningless. If we weren't changed, what was the point? To answer that question, I'd like to tell you a little story from my past. When I was 22, I had a profound conversion experience. Up until that time, I had been a hardened, pain-in-the-neck atheist. But in the time it took me to ask a single question of myself, I became a believer in God and in His church. It took no more than 15 seconds, and it was the most profound and transformative moment of my life. But as the years have passed, I've realized that my conversion was not nearly as instantaneous as I had previously thought. In retrospect, it is clear that God had been laying the groundwork in my heart for many years. There had been many people placed in my life, many events, many conversations, many internal reflections, many songs that struck a chord, all of which softened my heart and prepared me for that instantaneous conversion. And so I'd like to propose that for each of us that are struggling to see how we were changed by this year's Christmas, that somewhere deep in our hearts, God was hard at work. We may not know it yet, but the foundations and preparations for future change have been laid. We may not see it, but God gave us a gift for our souls this Christmas. It is wrapped and ready for each of us. However, this gift will not come for free. We have to do the hard work of both finding it and unwrapping it. Which brings me to today's scripture passage. In both the first reading and the gospel, we are given wonderful examples of profound conversion experiences. In the first reading, God calls out to Samuel again and again. But Samuel misunderstands what he is hearing. It took the guidance of the prophet Eli to point him in the right direction. The gospel gives us an even more poignant example how even the best of us are left groping for words when we are speaking to God. John the Baptist sends his disciples to Jesus, telling him that he is the Christ. But when Jesus asks them, "What are you looking for?" they appear dumbfounded. The way I read the passage, we should interpret their reply of, "Where are you staying?" as a crude way of indicating that they have no idea what they want, but they reserve the right to ask questions at a later date. But they did. They came back. And as they came back, they were more and more convinced, and they brought their friends and their family as well. They followed up that groping with the hard work necessary to encounter God. And they were rewarded by God with a great gift. So as I see it, today's scripture is calling us to recognize that God is speaking to us, but that we must do the hard work of listening for and responding to that call. And to that end, because I always like to give you something concrete to do, I would like to propose a plan for all of us. Normally, I only give you a 1-week plan, but we're going big this time, 4 weeks. Each and every day for the next 4 weeks, we should find 20 minutes for silent prayer. And after taking a moment to calm ourselves and to bring ourselves into the presence of God, I propose 3 short prayers. God, help me to find and unwrap the gifts you have prepared for me. God, help me to remember that you are with me at all times. God, help transform my heart so that I may follow you more closely. Now, we only need to spend a couple of minutes with those prayers. Their purpose is to help bring us closer to God for the heart of the exercise. And for that, we will slowly and thoroughly ask ourselves the following 3 questions. And I'd like to remind you that since this is a live stream, you can come back after Mass, find this segment, replay it, write the questions down, and also the prayers beforehand. So you can cheat. It's okay to watch Mass multiple times. Here are your questions. Number 1, where was God present in my life in the last day? Number 2, how did I do in following God's guidance in the last day? Number 3, how can I do a better job of following God's guidance in the coming day? And we should spend a significant amount of time on each question. If it's not a distraction, we should consider writing down the answers to these questions in a journal. And we will do this every day for 30 days. Why 30 days? Because Mardi Gras is 30 days from today. And for each of us that does this exercise well, I can guarantee you we will have something to celebrate. For each of us who dedicates ourselves to this 30-day exercise, we will be ready to have a marvelous celebration on Fat Tuesday. So I encourage you to participate with me in this exercise. God wants to bless each of us richly, but he needs us to cooperate and proactively listen to him. We must emulate Samuel, who, just like us, had a difficult time understanding God's voice. And so we must find the courage each and every day to pray like Samuel and say, "Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening."